Hello friends and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to do a little greenhouse chat. We are getting some lovely rain. The sun might be trying to pop out right now, but we're going to do a little greenhouse chat and answer some questions and kind of give you an update on what's going on in the life here at Creekside Nursery.
Yeah, we just jumped inside. It was thundering.
It was, and it was pouring down rain, and now the sun's trying to come out.
Yep.
Bless its heart.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So it is mid-August here in North Carolina, and we're gearing up for a delicious, beautiful fall with all sorts of projects here at the house and all sorts of fun things going on.
Yeah, we've had a couple of videos that went out with a new project at the house. If you haven't seen those, it'd be a good time to go back and check those out.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot of questions about that today.
Okay, very cool.
A lot of questions about that today.
Yep.
Anything you want to update the people on?
Not really. I mean, we're just getting ready for fall here. For those of you that are coming through, visiting, I mean, towards the middle part of August and towards the end, it's going to be a good time to come. You know, have lots of cool stuff here, shrub-wise, that kind of thing. Then we'll move into the fall season. It's crazy. We're thinking about that and talking about that. And Cece and I were just talking the other day about, you know, when are we going to, think about the orders and the pansies and the violas and all that stuff, So we've got a nice crop of annuals here that we've chosen to try to use over for fall plantings instead of mums.
Yeah.
So we'll have a few mums,
Stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just same as business right now. Just the big things that are going on. That project at the house.
Yep. So speaking of the project, we are redesigning our landscape in the front of our house. So along the front porch and then wrapping around the side along the driveway, kind of where the garage is. We're going to completely redesign that. We have started that process. We have 2 videos out so far, one that gives you kind of the overview, and then 2 where we are actually doing some demo. And so if you have not seen those, you can check those out for sure. So we had tons. Y'all are just about as excited this project as we are, and y'all had tons of comments and tons of questions. So we're going to first kind of spend the most of our time on that because you had some great questions about that. So we're just going to kind of talk that through because we know that in the fall, this is a great time here in the southeast. If you have those big projects to take care of those, to go ahead, the sun comes out and the bugs come out, to go ahead and get those projects underway. Because if you're like us, where you're doing major renovation, it takes a little bit of time. So that's why we're starting as early as we are. Sally asked, she says, how are you going to take out the grass? Because we do have a good portion of the grass that's coming out or no longer going to be grass, so it's going to be flower beds. So I defer that to the landscape expert, Mr. Jerry Simpson.
So we'll probably, get our design on that side of the sidewalk. We'll spray that out. Then we'll bring in the edger and get a nice edge. So that way we'll have that grass separated out from the lawn that we want to keep. It's not going to be more than 5 feet wide probably in that section. So that grass we'll likely just kind of remove some of it with one of our machines and just scoop it right out.
Yep, on both sides, both on that side and along the driveway.
Yeah, we could spray some of that grass out and just weed eat it down and leave it because we're going to be probably putting in a couple of feet of soil.
Yeah, right.
And even on the other side too, we could probably do that.
Yeah, so you could physically remove it. Of course, we're blessed to have the machines, like the small Bobcat with the flat blade and kind of scrape it. Or, if you wanted to shovel it out, which we don't want to shovel it out.
Yeah, and I don't really think we're going to do much of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because we're bringing the grade up, so if I take it out, that means I have to
put more soil
put even more in. So there's really no need to do it. We just need to get the grass down so the soil going in has something to bite onto.
Right. And we don't have the type of grass that we have once we kind of cut it down a lot. Like it's not like a creeping grass that's going to find its way up. So if you had Bermuda or Zoysia or something like that, that would not be advisable because it's going to find its way up in your flower.
Yeah, you would want to try to get that one out.
Yep. So then Allison said, did you decide not to put in the red barberry? I thought it would look great with the gray and really make your front door pop. Because initially we thought we were going to put the Sunjoy Neos in front of the house with some other evergreen shrubs. But we kind of backed away from putting them in the front, but they're still going in the landscape.
Yeah, I was always thinking that they were going to go around the tree that we were going to plant on the corner.
Gotcha.
You got the blue-red scheme.
Yes.
The door is red for now. It's going to get painted.
But we got a question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to use the Sunjoy Neos, just not in the front of the house. It's going to be an accent underneath the Electra Blue cedar, which will be right off to the side.
Yeah.
So it'll still definitely make a pop.
So we didn't want to do Sunjoy Neo with blue like that. I mean, Firelight Tidbit would be really cool. You know, some sort of smaller hydrangea or
Tiny
quickfire, pinker butterfly bush. You know, would be really pretty. Yeah, anything with a pop of color that would go with blue. And we just thought the red would look really nice.
Yeah, and we like barberries.
Yeah.
We like that color. And then GKM69 says, why not stain your sidewalk gray? Because what we're going to do is put gray stone, like a cobblestone,
Yes.
down. So why don't we just forget the cobblestone and let's just stain the sidewalk gray? Why do we not want to do that?
Well, 2 reasons. Number one, I want to have a cobblestone sidewalk with some accent edging to that with cobblestone. The biggest reason, we're actually going to raise the grade up. So the sidewalk either has to go, or we're going to use a technique of raising it right on top of that base. Probably going to leave the sidewalk, and then we're going to put in about 2 to 3 inches of number 78 stone, which is a screen wash stone, which gives you a firm base, right? And then we're going to build the cobblestone on top of that all the way back to our gravel driveway, which then it will be raised up. So next question is, Jerry, what are you going to do? People are going to trip when they come into your house. So point there is that we're going to take some more gravel from that edge and grade it back to the drain that is right there across the driveway and push. We're trying to push all this water that wants to come that way to the drains. So we're going to update the drains to be able to handle more water and get rid of it faster.
Yeah, we need it to drain and go.
Drain and go. Like, you don't want to see it hanging out, so we're going to put in bigger pipe.
Bigger pipe.
If we can. We're going to see.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. And then Helen was asking, what are the grills on the red bricks? Because once we removed those established mature boxwoods, then you were able to see these rectangular grills, grates along the front of our house, along our foundation. And so it's so interesting to us, like when we travel the country, how, or even if you just watch like the home improvement shows where they're building houses in all different parts of the country, how, so here in the Southeast, I don't know why, but it just is what you do. So the vast majority of our houses don't sit flat on the ground. We have a crawl space.
Yeah.
So there's a brick or a cinder block, firm foundation. It's not wood, a stone foundation that your house sits on that makes it level. So as you could see in that video, our land is not level at all. So by the driveway, you had 3 courses of brick, and on the other side, you had 10 courses of brick. So underneath the house is a crawl space. Literally, they call it a crawl space because normally it's not tall enough for you to be able to stand up, so you have to crawl. So a lot of like our hot water heaters under there, some HVAC stuff, all those kinds of things you can keep underneath there, and they're not in the living space of your house. You have to ventilate that, right? Because you don't want all that air to get trapped in there. So you have these air vents, and they're all around the perimeter of the house that allows airflow to come in and out. And that normally is a good thing, but what did we have to do a couple of years ago?
So yeah, we had to totally encapsulate underneath our crawl space.
So what does that mean, encapsulate?
So totally sealed off. Foam board insulated all the way around on the walls. There's a 6 mil, 8 mil poly white on the floor and going up the wall. It's all taped in, insulated, so no air or it's coming from the outside inside the crawl space. Because what happened was it just with our, I guess it's when the humid and then the
Moisture
cool
from the
and the
ground.
moisture, and it just caused the mildew and mold and stuff to go on the joist. So we had to do this instead. So almost here in the south, it's becoming very close to that's going to become a code, I believe.
Because my parents had to do it.
Yes.
Right.
So it's different, and then there is air that circulates in there. They put a dump from the HVAC system inside there, and then there's a dehumidifier also that keeps it. It's really cool underneath the house.
Yeah, so like year round, it's kind of like the same temperature.
It is.
Year round, which is really neat. So some people who understand about like the vents and how they work, they get all up in arms because they're afraid that we're doing something wrong and preventing airflow. Well, at this point, they serve no purpose. I mean, we could, like they don't even need to be there, right? Because we don't need them at all. So that was a very long answer to a simple question. All right, Bobby says, Jenny, have you all thought about putting a large rain barrel in the front or side yard? And Bobby, no, that honestly never, and you're not the only person that asked this. We had quite a few people ask us about the rain barrel because we do have such kind of like water flow issues right there. We are incredibly blessed to have tons of rain, and water is not an issue for us, and other than we have too much of it. And
I think the rain barrel would create more issue for us.
It would.
And we really don't want the look of it.
And aesthetically, we don't want the look of it. I have one up at the chicken coop, just because it's cute and it's fun and whatever, but I still have a hose right there, so it's not an absolute necessity. My parents have rain barrels, like Mama has rain barrels at her house underneath her gutters, but she has zero irrigation and their well is much more shallow, so she likes to trap a lot of her water throughout all parts of the yard, so that way makes it easy for her to water her plants. But that's just not something of an issue, so we're happy to let it return to the earth and go back to the aquifers.
Because I really think that, especially in that spot, the roof is so big that it would fill up that rain barrel. It would already be full today.
Right, it'd be, yeah.
And then we'd be overflowing and causing a bigger problem. And so then we would have to have massive underground storage for water.
Right, exactly. Claudette says, I like the clean look. Are you sure you want pink in front with your red door? Looking forward to watching the transformation.
Yeah, good question.
Good question. So and Jerry alluded to this earlier, we are going to paint the door. So we're thinking of, when we built the house, it was a natural wood color, and so we're thinking of returning to that color. I don't know, we just got a wild hair years ago, and we're like, let's paint it red.
Yeah.
Which has been fun, but we are going to return to our roots and go back to a more natural wood color with the door. So there you go. Pink. But I still say pink and red. Hello, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I don't think that color of pink carpet will look good with that red.
Yeah. It is kind of has an orange undertone to it, I think, that red door. And then Christine says, yes, I love the idea of pink azaleas. Would a short retaining wall be advisable on the right side? So I think I understand what you're saying, but we're not going to do the retaining wall because we're going to have the tall
I think she may be talking about all the way over to the right where the Hortsman is, because it starts to slope down.
Oh, I see over there.
Yeah, and we are going to do the edgers inside the bed, in between the sidewalk and the bed, to keep the mulch out of the sidewalk. But over on the right, you could tie a small retaining wall looping around.
You could.
Because we talked about that when we were building the house.
It would give a different little look to it.
Yeah, it would.
Might be on something there, Christine.
Don't think it's going to happen on this project.
I think somebody's bitten off not more than he can chew, but he's dreamed up a really good project, right, as it is. And then Linda says, are the new boxwoods going to be English boxwoods or Japanese boxwoods?
Yeah, they're not either one of those.
No, what are they?
It's a good question.
So we're going to go with the New Gen Independence boxwood, which is a great. It has a stronger resistance to the boxwood blight and leaf miner, and it is actually, we looked it up.
It's a microphylla.
Luxus microphylla.
Yep.
Similar to Green Beauty. Yeah, and it was a chance seedling found in the Williamsburg, Virginia area.
So it's one to kind of come in and substitute for English boxwoods.
It is. It is. And it is going to be hardy in zones 5B to 8, and anywhere from full sun to shade. And in 15 years, it'll be 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide, 25 years, 4.5 by 4.5. So yeah, we're going to go with the New Gen Independence.
Yeah, we've been
boxwood.
selling a lot of those. The
We
New
have.
Gen, we sold a lot of that one and the other one too. Just because of that right there, it's a slow, nice pace grower.
Right. And I know I didn't, take a copy of this, but somebody was asking about, with all the different problems that boxwoods are having across the country, why are we choosing to go back with boxwoods and not do an alternative to boxwoods? And so the two main issues with boxwoods are the boxwood blight and then the boxwood moth. And so the boxwood moth might be a new thing to some people, but that's, I think, primarily like the
It's
Northeast,
Midwest,
Northwest,
yeah,
somewhere.
something.
So it's not anywhere close to coming to us. But of course, if you're concerned about that, then there's a lot of great options that you could use instead of a boxwood. Like I said earlier in the videos, I just love boxwoods, and they have been great for us. And so we want to go back with some sort of boxwood back in that area. So that's what we're going to do. And then, any more comments or anything on the project? We're just going to go into some general questions now.
Yeah, I'm good.
You good?
Yep.
Rebecca asked, when do you close the garden center for the season?
It's usually like middle of December. Yeah.
Yep.
Right
Yep.
before Christmas.
We do. Yep. So if you're planning on coming and seeing us, come see us. We will be closed for Thanksgiving. So just know that for Thanksgiving, we're going to be closed because that's a great holiday, of course, right there kind of in the middle of our work week. So we will be closed for that. But other than that, the good Lord willing, we're not going to be closed until mid-December.
Yeah, it's the Saturday usually before Christmas, something like that.
Yeah. We'll have to look exactly at the calendar and how everything falls, but the first week or two of December will
It's
still
just
be
a
open.
natural kind of slow down. It go to Christmas week, and then after that it's New Year, and then we get into beginning of January, not much going on. Then we start planting. So yeah.
Yes. So talking about the fall and being, it's a great time to plant. So Tweety Bird asked Jenny, will you have a restock for the nursery of Stormproof in the fall? So right now we only had Stormproof available online because we could only get it in the quartz. And we had
I would
sold out
say
of that.
Yeah, probably the case. Yeah.
And it's still going to be sold out.
I don't know.
We'll just have to wait and see if we can get it from Spring Meadows. So that is to be determined. I very seriously doubt we will have it at the garden center because you have to keep in mind that those new introductions of the shrubs, it takes about a good 2 years, 3 years once a shrub has been introduced to really become readily available at your local garden center, simply for the fact of shrubs grow slower than an annual does, so it takes longer for them to be widely available. Stormproof, I don't know if they were just caught off guard with how popular it was, but I know that Spring Meadow had a supply issue. So if you're interested in Stormproof, if you will go to the website, I'll try to remember to directly link that page, and you can click notify me when available. It'll ask for your email. Do that, and then as immediately as we restock that online, you will get an email that says, hey, Stormproof is now back in stock, order now. And so if you sign up and you get that email, you would want to move with purpose and go ahead and order what you want, because if we get them, I don't know, what the quantities would be for us to be able to get those. So if you're interested with any plant on the website and that happens, go ahead and do that, and then you'll be notified immediately. And then the last question of the day was one that kind of took me by surprise, and there was quite a few of y'all that asked this question. This comes from Christy M. Are those bagworms on your tree? Are they just a pest, or are they something to worry about? So in the 2 videos that we were doing with the project at the front of the house, and we have a wild cherry tree on the wood line. And so all of those trees are, you know, I say native. We didn't plant them. They just came up by themselves. So we have a cherry tree, and it has all these webs in it. And for us, I mean, we just grew up here. So for us, it's common. It just happens. I mean,
Yep.
it's just, and they like the cherry trees. But I looked it up exactly. So it's the fall web worm. And while it looks weird, it doesn't do anything. I mean, it doesn't like come and attack the native, like our shrubs, the garden,
And it's only almost always on that tree.
on the cherry tree.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking at one in the woods right here at the garden center. And I mean, they eat the leaves, but those trees are so big that it doesn't affect them. So it's just an eyesore, and it's nothing to be concerned about. I do remember, maybe I shouldn't say this, but you know, statute of limitations. So when I was growing up, my daddy would take like a torch, like a big stick, and had a torch on the end, and he would light it, and he would go around and like burn the webs, the
Okay.
caterpillars. Which explains a lot, because my daddy is he's a firebug, so he enjoys a good fire. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things we're like, oh yeah, okay. But a lot of y'all did notice that, so anyway. Okay.
Very good.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. This was kind of a short and sweet little chat. Of course, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. We'll save them for next go around. But yeah, y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.